This is the reason why you never invite haters into your home, because all they're going to do is talk about you behind your back because they're jealous of what they saw in your home. They get jealous of the interactions between yourself and your spouse. They get jealous of the interaction that you have with your kids. They get jealous of the things that you actually have in your home, and then they resort to trashing you on social media. I just saw a TikTok video of Russell Wilson's Thanksgiving. Everybody should know Russell Wilson and Sierra. Well, he invited an ex-quarterback friend of his that he knew called Trayvon Boykin or something. I don't know. Anyway, this man went on a podcast and proceeded to trash or attempt to trash Russell Wilson. He talked about how he catered and how his parents weren't there, his mom wasn't there, his sisters wasn't there. So in other words, he was trying to make it seem as if he had estrangement between himself and his family. And he was saying a whole bunch of other things. This is the reason why you have to be careful about inviting certain people into your house. When people are jealous and envious of how you live and how you move, they will not hesitate to trash you to other people, even if whatever they perceive as drama or some kind of tea is not really that hot. I know this situation has to do with men, and as all of your comments have said, men can be just as bad, if not worse. So while women do this kind of thing, when you invite them into their house, sometimes men resort to this sassy, lowbrow behavior of putting down other men because they're jealous. Now, this was Russell Wilson's first mistake. Trayvon, or whatever his name is, he's an ex-quarterback. And the reason why he's an ex-quarterback, he used to play on the Seattle Seahawks with Russell Wilson. The reason why he's an ex-quarterback is because he has some domestic issues in his relationship and they cut him from the team. Strike one. Associating with the riffraff after they do certain things, it's almost as if you set yourself up to be attacked by jealous, envious people. That man has been through the trenches and he is not on the same level where Russell Wilson is. And I'm almost positive he does not have a Sierra on his arm. So inviting somebody like that into your house, that was a negative, in my opinion. This brings me to my next point. Somebody like Russell Wilson, while he is a man, a lot of men call him a simp simply because he is a good husband, he is a good father, he takes care of his family, and he's very low-key. He's very low-key, he's very nonchalant. He is not hesitant about expressing his love and adoration for his wife, Sierra. And haters don't like that. While the haters might be men and women alike, they don't like it. Anytime you have something, whether it be a thing or a quality that they do not have, if you have access to certain things that they do not have, they are going to call you everything except for a child of God. And Russell Wilson has not allowed the naysayers to stop him from showing up and showing out, enjoying his family publicly. But when people are jealous and envious of how you operate, especially when it goes counterculture, and this is a major point of this video, if you dare to live counterculture, you don't have a lot of drama. You don't have a lot of issues. For the most part, by the grace of God, the way I see it, you're living your life right. You're married to the woman or the man that you're with. You're raising up kids, maybe a blended family. You're successful in some way, or you're just doing what you know to do as a woman, as a person. There will be some people who will trash you and talk down about you, talk bad about you, simply because you are not messy. It's so sad that we live in a world where a man, being a good man, nobody's perfect, but being a good man, being a good woman, is called simping and being a pick-me. Being a woman who wants to add value to her husband's life and wants to be there to nurture, care, and comfort him is seen as a pick-me. Being a Russell Wilson is seen as a simp. We live in a very lost generation where people put down things that are not meant to be put down. And it's all because all they know is brokenness. This person, Trayvon Boykin, he was an ex-quarterback. No wonder he's hating on Russell Wilson, because he was cut from the same team that he is currently a star on, and he has relationship troubles. Do not interact with the riffraff, because sometimes doing so will come back to bite you. And while I've said it before that I don't believe in associating with people according to your economic status, class, and what have you, sometimes it's okay to disassociate from people based on your status as far as lifestyle and how you live and how you act, your character. The way I believe, there is scripture that says don't be unequally yoked. And that's not just in relationships. That's not just in intimate relationships like marriage. That's in your friendships. That's in your lifestyle. That's in your place of employment, the things you choose to do, the things you choose to entertain, the conversations you choose to entertain. You don't want to be unequally yoked in any of that stuff. And yet, and I understand it, because Russell Wilson, I don't know him on a personal level, of course, but because he seems like a really nice guy. He seems like a nice guy. And sometimes being the nice guy, being the nice girl, that is going to attract a lot of haters to you, because you're always trying to give people the benefit of the doubt. You're trying to invite them into your circle, make them feel welcome, when actually you should have them on the outside looking in. Those people that are haters, you allow them into your inner circle. You allow them into your home. You allow them to see a personal, private side of yourself, and then they take that and trash it. They don't deserve to be in your inner circle. They don't deserve to have that close connection to you. Preserving the sacredness, the sanctity of your relationship, of your family, of your dwelling, of your home, that's very important. And sometimes being a so-called nice girl or nice guy, trying to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, invites haters to attack you and try to tarnish your name. But see, jealous people, envious people who are haters, who turn against you when you invite them into your circle, when you invite them into whatever you're doing, and they try to trash you and ruin your reputation or talk bad about you to other people, they don't understand that they're already fighting a losing battle. Many people know about Russell Wilson. There's really nothing that this man can say negatively about him to cause other people to think badly about him. The people who already think badly about him, it's because they're jealous of how he operates. They're jealous of how he moves. They're jealous of the relationship. They're jealous of the status. They don't matter. But see, people who really know who he is, they're not going to believe the words of a person who is obviously jealous. And my first thought was, if you're talking about how his family was not there on Thanksgiving and you thought it was so weird that him being who he is and his family is not there, my question to him is, why were you there? You're not family. You're not with your own family. You're with his family. And then you talk trash about them. They open up their home to you, and then you proceeded to talk trash. That shows you just how messy haters, miserable people can be. And you really have to know how to see the signs and the patterns. And I'm going to say something that might sound a little bit off to some people. It might sound bad, but I don't care. Sometimes a little bit of judging, and I don't mean like judging where you're like putting them down and making them feel a certain way. I mean judging so that you can protect yourself. Be a good judge of character. That is okay. Looking at somebody and assessing them and saying, you know what? We're cool, but I don't think I'm going to invite her into my house. I just don't like certain things. Certain things I'm just not vibing with. That's okay. Knowing certain people's patterns, if you know certain things they do and or say, maybe you don't want to invite them into your social circle. And while I use Russell Wilson in this situation with his so-called ex-buddy, football buddy, NFL buddy trashing him, I use that as an example of how sometimes people will deliberately act like they're grateful for your friendship, act like they're grateful for the opportunity you give them, they're grateful for the help, and then they will proceed to trash you and talk down about you to other people. And of course, you cannot protect yourself from all trash talking and gossip. And at the end of the day, It is just words. And like I said, when a clown speaks, the only other people who really listen are other clowns. People who really know you well enough and know your character, they're not going to be too hung up on the words of a clown or a person who is obviously showing themselves to be a hater. But this is a perfect example of why you have to be mindful of inviting certain people into your house. Any person, and it's not like he had a little side conversation with somebody he knows. He took it to a podcast, which means he does not care. If Russell Wilson sees this, hears this, he doesn't care. When people have that deeply rooted envy towards other people, they don't really care about protecting themselves, or they don't really care about whether or not people see them as a hater. They just want to get all the negative information about you out in the public so that other people can hopefully think bad about you the way that they do. It's very weird. And this is the reason why you don't invite certain people into your home. Sir, I don't care if it's family, friends, what have you. If you know that they take part in certain lackluster activities, or they're just reckless with their mouth, they're just hyper disrespectful. And for me personally, knowing the background of that gentleman and the reason why he got cut from the team, and I'm not saying you can't have empathy for people. I'm not saying that people are above redemption or they're below redemption where they can't change. But obviously, this man is a hater. And what's sad, and this is a little bit of a sidebar, but not really, when you have men, and this just gives me the ick, when you have men who act like women when it comes to this gossiping and putting each other down and being insecure, it's just not a good look. Like, you're a grown man, for goodness sake, and he's a grown man with a whole wife and kids. You sat and ate at this man's table, and now you're talking trash about him. You filled your belly with turkey and stuffing and cornbread and collard greens and macaroni and cheese, and now you're talking trash about him. You're the weird one. And he had a nerve to call Russell Wilson weird. No, what haters don't understand is that it's weird to occupy a space with people you don't necessarily care for just so you can pick them apart and then run back and talk about them. That's weird, but that's what haters do. They will sit in your face, enjoy your food, enjoy your atmosphere, enjoy whatever it is you're offering, and then talk about you behind your back to other people. That's how deep envy and sometimes just straight up misery can go. So be mindful of the people you're inviting into your house. And with the invention of social media, and I have to say this because back in the day, you know, if somebody felt some kind of way about you, they might have little side conversations with other people. But because of social media and the haters, the jealous, envious person's need for such validation, they don't hesitate to run to social media to tell people about things that they perceived as weird in you because they're jealous of you. And if you ever notice, people who are jealous and envious of other people, some of the things that they perceive as weird are actually just normal things. Like he was saying he had catering. Well, what's abnormal about someone catering their Thanksgiving? Especially when you are a person with money and status and all of that. It's like, I understand, like traditionally many people have home cooked meals. I'm a home cooked meal kind of person. But what's the big deal about catering? It's not like people don't normally do those kind of things. When people are envious and jealous of you, they will just take anything and run with it and try to make something out of nothing. He said that as if it was humiliating to have a Thanksgiving dinner catered. It's weirdo energy. Jealous, envious people give out weirdo energy. And I didn't get the rest of the podcast because I didn't even care to look through the rest of what he was saying. The moment you use that platform that's about you in that moment to discuss somebody else's life in a negative light, you're showing the type of person you are. You're showing that you're a hater. You're showing that you're miserable. And you wish that you were in his shoes. And much like this situation, some people because they wish they were in your shoes. And your shoes might not be as great as Russell Wilson's. I don't believe money and finances make you any more important than the average person. You might be a person that's just an average woman, average man, going to work, taking care of your family, and able to enjoy some of the nicer things in life, or, get catering. And people will hate on that and be jealous because they wish they were in your shoes. They wish they had your life. And sometimes if they don't have what you have, they weren't able to acquire what you acquired, they just hate on it. It's one of those things like, if you can't beat them, if you can't join them. No, the saying is, if you can't beat them, join them. But in this case, it's like, if they can't join you, they're going to beat you down. They're going to wear you down with negativity and gossip and rumors and slander. They wish they were in your shoes. There are some women, they get jealous of other women because they don't have a happy, healthy home. They don't have a man that is eager to come home to them. And I know for some women, talking about the affection of a man as a negative is always considered as pick-me behavior. But the masculine and the feminine work together. If you're a woman that is not into the masculinity, then that's your problem. But we do realistic over here, okay? Having a man who actually wants to be around you, some women wish they had that. But because they don't, they have to hate on it and act like it's something wrong with being a woman who is wanting to be wanted by her husband, which is not abnormal. Weirdo energy. And it's not about that. I just use that as an example. If you're not a man-hating woman, you'll have a lot of women who are jealous and envious of you because they wish they had that kind of affection. But because they don't, they just hate on you. That's only an example, but that's literally how it goes. They wish they were in your shoes. So this man, this sassy acting man, should be ashamed of himself. I'm almost certain Russell Wilson is not losing any sleep over this. Him and Sierra are still going to go on about their life being happy. I am not like a fangirl while I'm hyping up celebrities. The moral of the story is, when you invite certain people into your home, haters, they will not hesitate to throw you under the bus. Be mindful of not being unequally yoked in the company that you keep. And it's okay to be a good judge of character when it comes to who you allow into your space. Like and subscribe to the channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comment section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.